Hey there, you're watching Dirt Bike Channel. I'm your host Kyle Brotherson, and today we're gonna fix a flat. Specifically, we're gonna use a plug to fix the flat on this rear tire. Stay with us. So a little bit of story time here. After my last ride, at the very end of the ride, I noticed that my back tire was flat and I'd picked up a puncture wound. In fact, because I'm running tubeless on this tire, I didn't even bother with it because I knew I could ride it back to the truck for a couple of miles, and I rode it back to the truck on a flat tire. Some of the guys I know don't even run pressure in their rear tires when they run tubeless because you don't have to do that. But anyway, I wanted to do a video here in the shop showing you how to plug a tire. It is incredibly easy. I did a trail video of us plugging a tire on a bike on a ride a little while ago, a front tire. Now I've got a puncture in the rear, and it's been a long time since I've had one, but you do get them from time to time. So all you really need are some basic ATV style tire plugs and a couple of simple tools. Now, some of the time, all I've used is one tool. It helps if you've got the reamer tool as well, and then some rubber cement. So all you have to do is carry these really, really lightweight items in your trail pack, and you can fix a flat, and it only takes you like 5 or 6 minutes to fix a flat out on the trail. So first thing first is to identify where your puncture is, and then you can stick a plug in there and it'll be really easy. So I'm gonna show you that process right now. I've identified where my hole is. When I pumped it up, I can still hear the air coming out of it right here. So it's a slow leak. Actually, it's a pretty fast leak, but we'll be able to stick a plug in that thing and we'll be good to go. So here's a closer look at it. Here's our hole, and these are the simple tools that we'll need. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a little bit of rubber cement on this reamer to kind of ream out the hole and get a little bit of rubber cement down inside here. Not 100% necessary, but it is something that I'm going to do in order to have the best results possible. So I'm gonna, actually this hasn't even been opened, although it's coming out the side. Look at that. I got rubber cement coming out of this little hole here on the side of my tube. So I will just utilize that hole for my purpose. And then I don't want to go directly, I want to be careful that I don't go too deep down into this thing. So I'm just going to kind of get in here, widen out the hole a bit, but I don't want to puncture my tubeless. So some of the time you're just kind of cleaning out the hole there like that, and then getting some of that rubber cement down in there. And now I know I'm going to be able to get a plug inside of that. I'm going to get a paper towel and wipe my finger off. Okay, now that we've got our hole primed and ready to go with a little bit of rubber cement down in it, I'm just going to take one of these plugs and stick it into my tool here, if I can extract it. And you can get these type of plugs at like any auto parts store. You can find them at like AutoZone or any place like that. They're really easy to find. The hardest part with this sometimes is figuring out where the hole is and then getting this in here. Now, because the slit is going this way, this is gonna fold like this, and then I will be able to pull this out because there's a slit. If you notice, there's a little slit here in this tool so that this can pull out. See how that works? So what we'll do is we'll just stuff this thing down inside our hole. Now, again, I don't want to go down and puncture my tubeless bladder. So I'm going to put this in here. It'd be better if I had a little more air in that. There we go. Now I've got that in, and then I'll just twist and pull my tool out, and there it is. And that is going to be sealed. Now, one of the things that I'll do sometimes is I'll put in a little bit extra rubber cement actually on the plug itself. I didn't do that this time just because my rubber cement was getting all over me, but that's another good thing to do. So sometimes I'll put rubber cement in the hole, sometimes I'll put it on the plug. A lot of times I actually will put it on the plug itself if I'm not making a big mess here with this. But that is, I guarantee you, going to solve this problem. So let's go ahead and put some air in it and just double check it. To pump this tire back up, I'm actually going to use one of NewTek's floor pumps. It's a mini floor pump that they use. I like these things. I throw these in my pack because it's a compact way to put air in your tire, and it's a nice package because it can do the high pressure and the low pressure. So it kind of unfolds like this, and then it's even got a mini little tire gauge on here, which is helpful, especially on that, especially on the high pressure stuff. So we're going to put the low pressure side on. Get this. Just put it on your valve stem, and then you lock it. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and pump it in. It's awesome to have a pump like this out on the trail in a mini package that you can count on. I've seen a lot of different floor pumps. This is just as good as any mini pump that I've ever used. And it's nice too because you've got this flexible hose. Not sure how much air I've got in this. Look on the gauge, we're still. Okay, now at this point I want to make sure that I'm still holding air. So I'm going to get something. Okay, I've got about 5 to 8 pounds of air pressure in the tire, and I'm just going to spray a little soapy water on there. And sure enough, just like I figured, there's no leak out of that thing. So if there was any bubbling with soapy water, I'd be able to tell that hasn't completely sealed the hole, but it has. Super easy, just took a couple of minutes to get that done. So there you have it, guys. I didn't skip any steps. The only thing I didn't show is a lot of times I'll put rubber cement on the actual plug itself, but I had so much rubber cement all over my hands I didn't want to do it. How people often ask too, so is that just a temporary fix? No, it's not a temporary fix. This plug will likely, I give it an 80–85% chance that this plug will hold air for the entire rest of the time I use the tire. I have used plugs for 20 hours on a tire after I've put them in. And by that time, I'm usually replacing the tire. Every once in a while, you'll get a puncture where you have to put kind of 2 plugs side by side because it'll be a big tear or something like that. And I've even had buddies that have put 3 plugs in one big gash before it would seal. But the point is, it's really easy to do out there on the trail. And because of the TUbliss system, it's so much easier to fix flats, and I can't stress that enough. If TUbliss was only just better because I could run the amount of pressure I want, that would be one thing. But TUbliss is better because it saves the number of the rides that I go on, because I can fix a flat in 5 to 6 minutes out there on the trail. A lot of the trickiest part is getting air back in the tire to find the hole, the puncture, the leak, and that's where this guy comes in. And then just getting the plug in there, but you're like 5 to 6 minutes at tops. And this floor pump that they have, this mini pump, I love sticking these in my pack, and I love that it expands out. It's got a flexible hose at the end of this. So this is a really, really nice touch from them. And a lot of guys are going to want to you're going to want to stick this in your trail pack so that you've got a way to pump up your tire. And this will actually also allow you to pump the high pressure side, wherever my high pressure side is here as well. So it can do the low pressure and the high pressure at once. It just takes you a long time of pumping it up when you're doing the high pressure. So this is a really, really cool tool. This plug is going to last. Super easy to do. I love TUbliss. And that's about all I have to say, man. So check it out. Don't be afraid of putting plugs in your tires. Don't be afraid of going TUbliss, because you will not regret it. If you do it correctly and install it correctly, watch the videos. Watch the videos I have. Watch the videos that NewTek has on it, and make sure that you're doing everything right. It is a fantastic option.